Okay, now you're good.
Yay! Welcome, everyone. We are so excited. Yes! We are here in Matthews, North Carolina at our Hope Bookstore for a very, very special event. It is a collaboration release celebration day, and we have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for. Today, the book, Anchored in Hope, Inspiring Stories of Faith That Endures, is live right now on Amazon.com for you to grab your copy. If you are in a season that has been a trial after trial after trial, and you need some things to anchor yourself to, and you need some hope to fill your everyday, this is the book for you. If you know someone in your life who's really struggling and they feel like they are washed all over the place, this is going to be such a treat for them to be able to get some words of wisdom, some hope for the future and for the days to come. So we have quite a few, actually, between online and in-house. All of our authors are with us. Woo-hoo! All 10 of our authors are with us tonight, and we are so excited for you to get a chance to hear from their heart, to get to hear a little bit about their chapter, and get to meet them personally. So if you are watching online, first of all, give us a little shout out in the comments. Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us a little bit about who you're cheering for tonight, because I know pretty much everybody on here is either related, family, network of just about everybody that's in this room. Or if you're a fan of Hope Books and you're like, this is so awesome, put it in the chat. All right. We want to hear from you, and we want you to be a part of what's happening tonight. Again, you can get this book on Amazon.com. We're going to put the link in the chat for you. Grab a couple copies for some friends. What a great gift to give to some teachers. Oh, my Lanta, this would be a great gift to give to some teachers, because they're like, it's the end of the school year. I need some hope. Guess what? The summer's coming. I know. We got some teachers in the house. Absolutely. So without further ado, we have some incredible authors, and we're going to call them up one by one. And this is Celebration Day. So if you know the author or you have any connection with them, I want to see you celebrate them online as much as we're going to celebrate them in the room. So I'd love to announce our very first author tonight is Melissa Rod. Give it up for Melissa Rod. She is ready to cut me right now, but that's okay, because I love her with my whole heart. All right, Melissa's chapter. It's fitting that you're the first, because your chapter's the first.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, Torture. I know. Your chapter is called The Gift of Hope, Trusting God with What Matters Most. So why don't you tell those who are watching tonight a little bit about your chapter?
Okay. So it was when my youngest son was 2. And he was sick, and I had to give him to God and rely on God and what was going to happen. And I compare in my chapter unforgiveness with being ill, and how it can eat away at you.
Yeah. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. And not having any explanation of anything.
Exactly.
Having to trust completely, but then wondering, okay,
Right.
Why did you do this to my child, or what have I done? And and we talked about that earlier today. That process of forgiveness is just woven into every part of our life, no matter what you believe, no matter where you're from. And that is so beautifully written in this chapter. So look at, I'm so proud. I'm so very proud. But at the same time, I want you to tell those who are watching tonight, if they could get just one thing out of your chapter, what would it be? What hope-filled thing would it be?
God's not finished.
Yeah.
And don't give up.
Yeah.
There's always hope.
There's always hope. And you have a book coming out soon,
Yes,
don't you, buddy?
I
Like,
do.
this is the first.
Yes.
This is the first part, but she also has a full book coming out too.
Actually, there's a teaser in, because my chapter in here kind of ties into my book.
So that means you have to go online to Amazon.com right now and type in Anchored in Hope and buy 10.
Yeah, at least. Maybe 20.
That's a good tether. 10
Yeah.
or 20. Yeah, we're good with that too.
Yeah.
Hey, super proud of you.
Thanks.
Y'all give it up for Melissa Rod. I have to say Melissa Rod because there's we have two. Gotta get them right. But right now we have the one and only Jessie Herbert coming. Y'all give it up for Jessie. She's like Liz. I don't know. So today has been a day of first for Jessie. It's my favorite thing.
Yes.
For most of the people in the room, a day of first. So a day of first of podcasting for the first time and freaking out a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's okay.
Workshops.
Yeah.
This is your first time publishing
Yeah.
as well. And you did it.
You did it!
Oh my gosh. It's something to celebrate because this is not an easy thing to put yourself bleed on paper. What we were talking about in our podcast today, we're bleeding on the page. We're giving a part of our heart for people to read, and that's not an easy thing, but you've done it. You've done the hard thing, and I want you to tell those who are watching right now a little bit about your chapter. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, okay.
Just snippies.
So my chapter is actually kind of walking through something that I'm actually currently walking through right now, just with my two boys. And to kind of understand where I'm at right now, it kind of goes back, and it just shows like how God has always, his hand has always been present from the beginning, and just how he shows up even now.
Yeah. And we were talking about this in our podcast time today as well. We had us having to write when everything is great, or when we've already gone through the thing and we've healed from it. Sometimes the best writing is when we're writing in the raw.
Yeah.
Or, we write in that raw place. We're still going through the process of healing. And then to be able to look later on at where we were and the depths of healing, it's something beautiful about it if you're willing to have the faith to write in that hard place. So your chapter is called Faith on Fire. God's grace will cover you. So what is one hope-filled thing you would love for someone watching right now to catch from your chapter?
Honestly, just Jesus is the best anchor through every single storm that life is going to give you, because there is not one person that is here now or that has ever been able to escape from having a storm in their life. We all go through different things. And so just really, really knowing that Jesus is just the constant anchor. Yeah. He is our hope.
Yeah. So. He never said we Y'all give it up for Jessie. Oh, that. Yeah, those of you online, y'all better give it up for Jessie. It is not easy to come up here and have a conversation with a screen. So that's why I'm standing here, so they can have a conversation with me. But that's okay. Amazon.com, Anchored in Hope. Grab a copy right now. I'm giving them a moment so that they can breathe. If you're just tuning in, we are celebrating our newest collaboration book, Anchored in Hope, inspiring stories of faith that endures. One of our themes behind this book is having a firm foundation that gives us the strength to get through those things, but we can endure through those things. And I think that's such a beautiful theme to endure in itself, to not just get through it, but to regain strength through that as well. We weren't meant to fail. We were meant to fall forward into his arms. And that's such a beautiful thing that this whole book represents. So I want to be excited. Everybody's excited in the room. I'm very excited. I just got a little tingle. My arms are I got goose pimples. I don't know why. I just got them, but it's great. All right. So let's give it up for Lynn Connell Olenek. Olenek.
Oh,
Here we go. Yes. No, I'm Olenek. Yeah, you're good. I feel like I failed as a speaker. That's okay. She still loves me.
She agreed with you.
She did. She agreed with me. She's like, yeah, everyone needs a Lynn in their life. to tell you when you screwed up, but it's all right. I got your back, buddy. It's true. You do.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Okay, so Lynn's chapter is called, this makes me cry every time. All you can do is cry. Finding laughter amid the tears. And all you have to do is spend 10 minutes in a room with Lynn, and you're going to be filled with joy. 10 minutes in a room with
That's pretty good. I used to get it in 5.
Oh! See what I'm saying here? See what I'm saying? And her entire chapter has this beautiful theme all the way through. But tell us a little bit about your particular chapter.
I'm a person of planning and a person of control. I have a great sense of humor from my father. My mother got Alzheimer's, and there was no way to cope with the oddities of this horrible disease except to laugh about it. And we didn't laugh at Mom. We laughed at the absurdity of the things we couldn't understand because words were twisted, things were different, and you just gotta laugh.
Yeah. You have no control.
Yeah.
You have no control.
Those are the only memories you're making.
Yeah. To read about the shift in perspective that comes when we do that is not the easiest thing to do. And
It's hard when you're in it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when you're in the middle of it, you really feel hopeless.
Yeah.
You don't feel strong. You don't feel, but if you can find people that will share with you, maybe they've been through it, or maybe they just like you a lot, that you can share those words with, you can say, oh, I got to tell you this. And my employees at work were the best. My sisters were awesome. And I could say to them, can you believe this? Can you, this is what I dealt with today, and it just would be so freeing to be able to share that.
What a beautiful anchor for your life. To be able to stand on laughter and joy.
It's what you got sometimes. It's all you got.
Yeah. And to choose that over sorrow and to choose that over confusion or frustration is not an easy thing, but can shift everything, can shift the atmosphere. And oh man, I'm so thankful that you chose to share this. So what is one particular hope-filled thing you would love for somebody watching right now to catch from your chapter?
Find your people. There are people out there who understand, you can share with, you can commiserate with, but that will help you move forward.
That's so good. Y'all give it up for Lynn. Anytime, and Lynn just said it, so I'm just going to go off of what she just said. Anytime someone says the phrase "find your people," do you guys know Ellie Holcomb and her husband? He's got a song called "You Gotta Find Your People," kind of make you feel all right. Great song. Highly recommend listening to that song. But it's so true. You got to find your people. You got to find those people that you can feel anchored and belong in. Not trying to fit in. Fitting in and belonging are opposites. Okay. And it may take you time to find your people. But when you do, there's going to be so many windows of joy that opens up in your life. I would love to welcome up to the table Miss Amanda Wise, everyone. She's very wise. You are so wise. Oh, like as a counselor and all of the things. Like you're very wise. You represent your name well. As her sweet husband is recording the whole thing, and I love him. Jesse is the best. Jesse's the best. Yes. So Amanda's chapter is called Hope Restored, and you're kind of in the restoration business. I'm not gonna. That's all I can actually say is you are in the restoration business.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your chapter, Amanda.
Well, my chapter is about a season that actually I'm not that far removed from, so it wasn't actually what I had planned on writing when I began this journey, but it is about a season of feeling detached from hope, a time where I came unraveled under the weight and overwhelm of a situation that was so out of my hands, that I cared so deeply to the core, involving people that I couldn't love more, as my daughter and the birth of her son. and there were complications at his birth, and I was on site with them for that. And just there's been just quite a journey for her and her family and this little boy. He's now 2, as he's been recovering from this trauma. And so especially in that season, is watching these things unravel and what this means for my daughter, for her family, for this little boy that I love so much, with a grandmother love, which was new in itself and a whole another depth that I had no idea existed. But watching the suffering of this little person and the weight on my daughter, and just so wanting to come in and help and not know how, and the vulnerabilities we were both going through of just the rawness of it. There was just a season where it was overwhelming, and I was desperately tugging on the robes of the Lord, and just not really loving the lack of response that I was hoping for. I wanted full healing and all these things within a timeline that weren't actually happening. And so, though I felt like I was putting my faith so strong in healing and felt like I was doing all the right things, and the only way I knew how to do, so it just kind of led to this season, this building up, and then finally an unraveling, kind of a frail moment where I did have a bit of a breakdown, and then just kind of had to regroup and reestablish and reconnect in that place with the Lord, even a place where I questioned the goodness of God, which I hadn't found myself in before. So it was a really raw and vulnerable season.
Yeah. And you're a pastoral counselor as well, and I know you've seen it in other people, but to experience it for yourself is a totally different thing. Sometimes we find ourselves in seasons of what you just said, unraveling and spiraling out of control. And sometimes we need those seasons to truly get to see God for who he is, and to be able to experience him as the comforter in those moments. It's not easy. And we want the healing, like you said, on our timeline. But it will come in his way, in his timeline. But to walk through that and then have the vulnerability to write about it. I'm so thankful that you chose yes in the midst of that. So I know in what you had to say, there were so many hope-filled things, but if you could relay one specific thing from your chapter to the people who are watching right now, what would that one hope-filled thing be that you'd want them to saturate themselves in?
God's witness, his gift of presence. I just don't think I don't know where I'd be without the gift of his literal presence, and the way scripture says he comes close to the brokenhearted, and truly he does. I've experienced seasons of loss of loved ones, and this season was so unique when you're grieving and you don't know why, because you didn't really lose your person. It's a very different process, but his witness is what I would want people to understand, the power and the gift of how he comes close and ministers in those tender places. And I used to be a labor doula, so of course I think in those terms of even when a woman is laboring, and some labors are a lot longer than others, and when you are the one in labor or with someone in labor, it's the gift of someone's witness in you that imparts that strength, gives you the ability to endure, and the way the Holy Spirit does that and has done that for me has been profound. And so offers to all of us, and just to call out to him and to receive his gift of witness.
Absolutely. So beautiful. And if that's something that you need right now in this season of your life, even today, go to Amazon right now and grab a copy of this book. You need this right here for the encouragement, for the reminder that you're not in this alone, and that he is with you. If he's with Amanda, he's with you. He doesn't pick and choose. He doesn't pick and choose who he loves. He loves us all equally. But thank you. And we're so proud of you. Yay! Yes, y'all give Amanda a shout out. Give all of our authors a shout out. We have quite a few more that are coming. But again, the book is called Anchored in Hope. You can find it on Amazon.com. And for those of you who are just joining us, this is a collaboration release celebration of all of the things Anchored in Hope. We have a great group of authors with us tonight. Many of them you know, many of them you may have never seen before. But if you are watching and you happen to be connected to one of our authors, give them a shout out right now in the chat. Why don't you tell them how proud you are of them? Give them as many hearts as you possibly can. You know, like I don't even know if you could do that on this. I'm just saying, if you can't, pretend like it and just tap your phone the whole time, and then have somebody record you doing it and then send it to them. I'm just saying. It would just be really funny if someone sent it to me so I can laugh. It'd be great. Y'all are not catching it tonight at all. It's just messing. It's been a long day. Anyway, we're so excited to be in our bookstore in Matthews, North Carolina. We have a couple more authors with us in-house, and then we're going to join many of them online, just like you're watching online in different areas of the United States. But I would love to invite up here to the table. I need a better name for this table, Melissa Vera. I'm going to say Vera because I just like to roll my R's. Yeah. Thank you. There you go. There you go. I wish we could hear the people clapping online, but that's just not how it works. Technology. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. That would be really great. Awesome. So your chapter is called Through the Storms of Life, My Anchor Holds. Why don't you share with us a little bit about your chapter?
Let me just start by saying at the very beginning of the chapter, 2014 was an awful year. And I actually start out my chapter with 2014 was the year I stopped asking God, what's next? Because I was afraid of what he was going to answer with. Because we had a lot of stuff going on in 2014. I mean, I have my youngest daughter here, her illness. She's now 22 and she's very happy and healthy. We had a car accident, and then my hero of all time, my dad, passed away due to exposure to Agent Orange and tainted water in Camp Lejeune.
Oh my goodness.
So it was really, that year I honestly could not see a way through. And it wasn't until looking back I could see God held me. And at my dad's funeral, this lady who I regret that I didn't write this book sooner because she has since passed away, pulled me close and told me all the struggles you're going through is God pulling you closer to him. And she had an untimely death in January. She was killed, her husband killed in their home. And her son told me that my mom was so proud of you of what you built. And I couldn't get that from my own mom, but I got that from her.
Yeah. I know she is looking down on you right now and so proud.
Yeah,
like we are so proud
She was
of
my
you.
pillar in faith too. So
How beautiful.
yeah.
And you guys have been through so much. But in the midst of it, your faith has never wavered.
It has gotten stronger, actually, much stronger than what it used to be.
That is such a beautiful testimony to not, I wouldn't say just the walk, but like Amanda was saying, the witness and understanding that he is with you even in the midst of the struggle whenever you need something to hold on to.
Hebrews 6:19, my favorite verse of all time.
Yep. Oh my goodness. And we were talking about that in our podcast today. Like,
Yeah.
I knew this was the book for me because her chapter in Hebrews talks about the anchor that holds. And of course, that's her entire chapter. So what is one hope-filled thing you would love for someone watching tonight to catch from your chapter?
You can actually make it through the storm. And when you look back, instead of looking at all the storms you're going through, instead of looking back and saying, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Ask, why is it happening? What are you trying to teach me in this time, God?
And be preaching right now. What is he trying to teach me?
Because looking back, I could see all the lessons he put in front of me.
And if the mindset that you've had, and like stinking thinking mindset, if you will, stinking thinking mindset is, what did I do to deserve this?
Yep. That's exactly what I just went through.
To shift your perspective to, okay, Lord, what are you trying to teach me? You're obviously trying to get my attention. You're obviously trying to teach me something, whether it's something about myself, whether it's something about you and the closeness of you, or just your promises and your truth. And asking that question is such a vulnerable thing.
Yep.
And it can be so scary.
It's very
From
scary.
my own life. So scared. What are you trying to teach me? I don't want to learn that.
I didn't want to learn it.
I already went to school.
Yep.
I got 2
Yep.
degrees.
Yep.
I don't need to learn nothing else. And he said, honey, same thing. I'm just kidding. Not necessarily. It's like, but anyway, we are so proud of you, my love. Congratulations. Great job. Let's give it up for Melissa. All right. Last in the house, but not last author, is Miss Dawn Dunn. She is coming all the way from California. which I totally said that wrong. I live on this side of the United States. She gets all the fun stuff in the redwoods and all of the beauty of California. And we're so very proud. We've been wanting to do this for such a long time, and you've done it. And I'm just so
exciting.
I know, it's very exciting. So your chapter is called Hope in the Healing, How God Transforms Our Pain into Pearls. So tell us a little bit about your chapter.
So yeah, it starts out when I was a child and a lot of the things that I had endured and things that happened to our family and painful experiences that the devil wanted me to believe that I deserved it and there was something wrong with me. And so I grew up with this big, thing on my shoulder that there was something wrong with me. And I went through a deep, dark years of depression because I was just lost. And I knew God and I knew he was there. And I realized through that darkness that God was reaching me and he would bring people into my life. God always is working things out.
Yeah.
Brings people into our lives and he just plans it,
Plants those seeds,
Yeah.
he says.
So, yeah, I put people in my life and when the time was right, because I knew I needed to write, I started seeing, there's a story there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been through a tremendous amount of healing in the process of
Absolutely.
it all. And you're going to get to
Mhm.
read about that in this
Mhm.
particular chapter. But for those of you who are watching online right now, what is one specific hope-filled thing you would love for them to catch from the chapter that you've written?
I want you to know that he does love us and he does have a plan. And it's not like we deserved it. Some of the bad things, but he turns it around and he gives us hope. And he loves us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Completely loves us. Yep. Now give it up for Don! Yes, I'm so proud. Let me tell you, many of these authors in the room has been months, some years of conversations and just taking baby steps of faith. And then some of us dove in and took some big steps of faith. But no matter what, they've done the hard thing and put their heart on paper for people like you, so that you would find the hope that you need in these messages and their stories of their life, the hope that you need. I told Brian I'd pay him to army crawl on the
He
floor.
sits up
but
my head too.
We can still see your head.
Yeah.
But the hope that you need to be able to take another step. I can't be serious around this. I can't be serious, period. So it doesn't matter. I think we're in good company. So Anchor and Hope, Amazon.com. And we have some of our authors that are with us in different places and traveling, but we wanted to make sure that they were a part of what is happening tonight because we are so proud of each and every one of them. So as we're going through, Brian's going to help me on the tech side of things. We're going to go straight to our next author online, Miss Judith. There she is. There's Miss Judith. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
You look fabulous.
Thank you very much.
So Judith's chapter, well, hi there. Just move. When Judith's chapter is called When Life Goes Sideways, Turning to God's Word for Answers and Support. So Judith, why don't you tell us a little bit about your chapter today?
Okay, it starts with waking up in the hospital, being told that I just had surgery, and my brain was really fuzzy at this point, post-surgically, and I knew that I'd had surgery a week before, and I didn't recognize this hospital room at all. I had no idea where I was. And it ended up that I'd had a gastric bleed that night, just the night after I was returned to my local hospital after having had major back surgery. I had 4 levels of my lumbar spine fused. But that I'd been about, well, I don't know, 7 days post-op, was doing well enough to be transferred home for rehab. And I was being told I had another surgery. And so the PSW who was in the room at that time, she pointed to the blood that was hanging from my IV poles. And I figured, oh, she must be right. But how did this happen? I don't even know where I am. I don't know how this happened. I haven't got a clue. I was totally stymied. And that's not like me. I usually have something to say. I got to the point where I just lay back and I said, I just don't know what's going on, Lord, but I figure you do, and you're going to have to help me out of this situation. And I had to relax back in my pillow and just sort of take it, let him take me on the ride.
Yeah.
The PSW had handed me my phone, and I was trying to text my friends to say that I survived. Now that, not that they knew I had surgery or anything, but I tried to text them, and I could barely hold the phone, and I couldn't remember how to text. So I knew I was really, really about as low as you could go, right? So, and I just had to ask the Lord, okay, now we're in this together.
Yeah.
And I'm not here alone, even though I don't know anybody. I'm not here alone, but I know you.
Yeah.
And I know you love me. And you're not going to leave me like this. You're not going to forsake me. You're just going to take me through this one step at a time.
Yeah.
And as I wrote in the book, when I used to scuba dive, I was a dive master. There were times where I got into really strong current and I was right at depth, and there's really no shelter, and you're finding yourself with that. What happens if you're in a very strong current at depth? Sometimes you get this frightened flight syndrome that you want to just go to the surface. The last thing you should ever do, ever. But if I could just get behind something that was a little bit of shelter, stop and rest and talk to him, he would be able to get me out of it. It's like when we were kids, if we ever found ourselves on fire, stop, drop, and roll. Well,
Drop and roll. I remember that.
Yeah.
That is definitely something I grew up on as well.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. And even in any situation, but you can put it in the same sort of category of talking to the Lord and say, okay, I'm going to stop.
Yep.
I'm going to drop my presuppositions about this, and I'm going to let you help me roll out of this.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to do in that situation. And I found scripture within my heart that it isn't me that's having to do this, but I had God to help me. So I can do all things through God, through Jesus' love, God's love, and that strengthens me to do anything. So
And what a
it
beautiful
was
message.
one step at a time.
Yep, one step at a time. One step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to release control and just say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm being held in your hands. I'm anchored in who you are. So what is the one hope-filled thing you would love for someone to catch from your chapter, Judith?
When I was a kid, I only had a couple of years in Sunday school. But the one thing I came out of that with was Jesus loves me, this I know.
Mm.
And if you hang on to that, no matter what the situation is, just know that he loves you and he wants to be there with you. And the Holy Spirit's going to take you one step at a time through this. You're not alone. You're never alone.
Absolutely. Well, Judith, we're so very proud of you and so excited that you could be here with us tonight. Let's give it up for Judith. Yes! And we have our other crew online waiting. They're patiently waiting to come in. Anchored in Hope, you can find it at Amazon.com. I already told the team in here I'm probably going to say Amazon.com about 1,000,000 times, but we're going to put the link in the chat right now, so you don't even have to go search for it. You can catch it right now. Grab it for a couple of friends, a couple teachers that you know, some friends that are going through a really, really rough time. Maybe you have yourself or someone like Judith who's gone through a season of just overwhelming, like scattered, don't know what's going on, having to try to piece things together and figure this thing out. And you just need to rest. And you just need to center yourself in his will. This book is going to give you so much encouragement. I love to welcome with us in our online space, if you will, Ms. Jessica Varney. She is the travel queen today in her beautiful purple. Hey, Jess, how are you doing?
All is good.
Yay. That's awesome. So Jessica's chapter is Rising from the Ashes, a Widow's Journey. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your chapter?
Of course. I started the chapter off with a probably the most raw and hard moment of my life. It's when I lost my husband, who was a firefighter. I had 2 little kids at home, and it's kind of just storying my journey of from the moment that I heard about what happened, and kind of the years that have passed since and all that's been happening to me and the children. And it's been 7 years now. It was a hard chapter to write, because it did kind of throw me back into PTSD as I was writing it. I'm sure it happened to a lot of the other authors as well. But so, yeah, it just kind of follows me along in that journey, and what's happened to me and the kids since, and how we've kind of come above the water. It just felt like you're underwater for so long. How we've kind of come up out of the water since that time.
I can only imagine. And you know what, you're actually absolutely right. In earlier sessions we've had today, we've talked through the process of writing with all of the authors that are actually here, and many of them had to go through some really hard moments in writing this chapter, realizing, yes, they've healed, but there's still some things that we need to walk through, and still some healing we've got to go through. And being able to write in the raw of it can really give us a shift in perspective. It could also give us a deeper sense of healing, and maybe connect with what happened to us in a different way. And the story that you share in your chapter is so beautiful and so encouraging to those who may have a similar story or going through a season of grief, which is it's not cookie cutter. I mean, it's just not a cookie cutter thing when you lose someone who's close to you. So why don't you tell us one hope-filled thing, because there's so many things in your chapter, but could you, the author herself, give us that one hope-filled thing that you would love for someone who's watching tonight to grasp from what you have to bring?
Absolutely. I would just say to ask big. If you've suffered from grief and your just sorrow feels so great that you don't think you're gonna ever get out of where you are, you will, and you can, because especially as a believer, we have a big God, and he can do so much for us, more than we could ask or think. And that's what he's told us. And so I would say, don't ever underestimate God's ability to restore your joy again. He can make life so beautiful. And I know I've talked in my chapter about, I've experienced a lot of physical and emotional pain in my life, and God's always helped me to pull through. He's given me more than what I had before. Oftentimes, I'm not through it all yet. I still, have some chronic pain issues, and the ripple effects of my loss is still daily with me and my children and helping them get through. But I know God is going to restore that joy greater all the time for me and the kids, because he's a restorer. And so I would just say, don't ever underestimate that. And he can make life so much more joyous and beautiful again for you after a grief and after a hardship.
Ask big. I love that. Ask big. And it's okay for us to do just that, to ask for big things, because we serve a big God. So
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. We're so proud of you. We're so proud. Yes, as everyone in the room is cheering you on. And last but not least, our last author for the evening is none other than Miss Tina Rich. There she is. Oh, you're so beautiful. Your chapter is called Learning, Growing, and Going. Why don't you share a little bit about your chapter with us tonight?
Wow. Where to begin? The journey has been lengthy, as I've listened to so many of the other women tell their stories, and each one of us is carrying the same story with the different experiences. And my story is one of many. And this one was about what happened one night as I was starting to reach a peak of finding a way forward and coming back from a previous event that had kept me from feeling like I was making progress. And that night I felt very sick, and I had never experienced those symptoms before. And as I struggled to figure out what was wrong, and talked with my husband, and he was kind of a little concerned, we decided it might be nice to have the neighbor come and check in. And as she checked on me, it was, you need to go to the hospital, and you need to go now. Call the ambulance. Don't even try to get in the car. And so off we went, and it began another journey of hospital visits for the next 3 months, in and out. And it was a continuation of a journey that God already had me on. And yeah, so that's where it's at. And it was all about what happens when you have to process everything that's been happening in your body, and your body revolts to food, and you have to learn to live differently, eat differently, and you're doing it from a place of already being depleted.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And the unknown that comes along with that, not having any clear-cut answers at all,
Nope.
and just having to trust.
It was,
God had you in his hands.
yes, it was the beginning. It was the beginning of when many people were going to start talking about the challenges that food was presenting to them. But it wasn't just food, right? It was also the stresses that could come. And so anything you figured out, you had to be okay with recognizing that there wasn't one set answer.
Yeah.
And that stress could be a really big factor. And so you needed to learn how to not just eat differently, but you had to learn to live differently.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just eating and living differently, it was thinking differently.
And how they're all connected.
Yes. And that was the biggest part, is just trying to figure out how you do that, figure out who you bring on the journey with you, recognizing that people want to come alongside you. You just need to ask, but also knowing that some people aren't meant to go on that journey with you, and being okay. But for me, the deeper part of it all was learning that because Jesus is my anchor, he took me to a deeper place. And it wasn't just the head knowledge and just that initial heart knowledge. It was a deeper, I'll say, be careful what you ask for, because a few years before I said, I want to know what it means to trust Jesus more.
Woo.
And then he gave me the event that happened in 2011, which is the story I talk about in that chapter, that came before this event with the eating and that moment that caused this one to be harder. So.
You pray for it. He's going to give you situations that help grow you in that particular area.
But he met me. He met me where I was, and he continues to meet me. And there have not been some easy seasons in the ensuing years from then.
Yeah.
But this chapter is just about one of those stories, and how that continued through many years. It's been at least 7 years from the beginning of that journey till I kind of was freed from the food challenges. Not that they're not over and done with, but there was a 7-year journey.
Yeah.
And sometimes our journeys are not easy and fixed right away. We go through a lot, and sometimes we keep having other things pile on top. And that's when we know that sometimes Jesus is the only thing we have to cling to.
So Tina, what is one hope-filled thing you would love for someone to grasp from your chapter?
You have a home, even though you're not home yet. God's carrying you through. And I guess this is 2 or 3 things rolled into one. You don't have it all. You don't have to have it all figured out in order to take the next step.
Yeah. That is so profound. You don't have to have it all figured out. Those of you watching, stop trying to figure it all out. You don't have to have it all figured out. That's actually not our job. That's not our job. I mean, to be able to rely on him, to be able to rely on the things that he places in your hands, the people that he puts in your life, the instruction that he gives, the wisdom and the guidance is the journey. It is the journey of becoming more like him and trusting him more. So Tina, we're so very proud of you. Thank you so much for being able to be with us tonight. And for those of you who are watching, the book is called Anchored in Hope. You can find it on Amazon.com. We're going to put the link in the chat right now. And honestly, we're not done. We're not done, even though we have met all of our authors tonight. But you might be wondering, okay, how do I get involved in this? Or maybe I have a dream to be a published author. I've always wanted to write. I have no idea where to start. It's so overwhelming. Well, we've got you covered. Okay. These incredible authors are a part of our collaboration projects here at Hope Books. We take a theme. We have 10 authors that solidify on that theme and give their life experience through structured, supported processes from point A to point Z. We teach you great habits on being the best writer that you can be so that you can make strides towards your dreams of becoming not only a published author, but maybe writing your own full book or a series of books, whatever that might look like for you. So all you have to do is visit www.hopebooks.com/collabs. Check out the different collaborations that we have available. Fill out an application. Tell us about your story. And then someone on our team is going to reach out to you and help you find the best place for you. But this is a place where dreams come true. It really is. This is a place where your hopes and dreams and the things you've always known that you're called to do comes to light, and you have a supportive team that's there to walk you through the process of growth and the process of becoming, are you ready for this, a fully published author. I know. So join us for the next collaborations. www.hopebooks.com/collab, or if you'd like to schedule a call with someone on our team, we would be honored to walk through the process with you. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you again soon.